Hey everyone, Izzy from Valuart here. Welcome to another episode with the Valuart podcast, where we spotlight the creative minds shaping the digital art landscape. Today, we're proud to host a distinctive artist who's disrupting the glitch art scene, Thomas Collett, better known as Chepertom. Hailing from France, Chepertom invites us into a world where the so-called imperfect transforms into the perfect. His artistry finds beauty in the digital mishaps, drawing from a myriad of media experiences, from engravings and installations to videos. In a world obsessively seeking perfection, Chepertom dares to see beauty in the glitches of the digital realm. Enjoy this episode as we discover how Chepertom is redefining our aesthetic perceptions. Hi, Chepertom. Thank you so much for being on the Valuart podcast with us today in view of your upcoming Valuart Solos. I'd love to start off by asking if you can describe the precise moment when you realized that glitches could manifest as forms of beauty in art, and how you ventured into glitch art.
I don't remember like the precise moments I first saw a glitch at the time, but I know like 6 or 7 years ago I was still in art school. I was studying drawings in prints, and I had this obsession for obsolescence. And so I was using some weak and fragile materials to make imprints, to see like different version of the matrice at each impression. It was really something amazing for me to use creation and destruction on the same surface. And so I know in the same year I started to have this video montage lessons. And so I started to play with video, and at the end of a montage, you always have this part where you encode the video. So it takes a lot of time, and you put all the parts together just to make one video out of it. And I was curious about the fact that it would take so much time to do this, and I was also curious about the fact that you can pretty much write any kind of movement using like zeros and ones. That for me is still fascinating, just to be able to write something with numbers. And I knew there was something interesting in that as well for my obsolescence obsession. I knew it was something that I could I could feed myself with new knowledge and try to find my way to mess with the code. And then I think I started to see some tutorials, some scripts, and I understood that so many people were using this kind of processes to create already. And so that was amazing. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to really do amazing glitch and a lot of different things without like the help of these people, mainly from the Glitch Artist Collective, which I'm still part of. And I think like my first reaction seeing glitch art in general was just to be amazed by this sincerity, because to me, like, to put creation and destruction in the same place, it's just like about saying that nothing is eternal, and everything will just like break apart at some point, and you just assume that these kind of weaknesses and fragilities are going to be like the first ingredients inside of the art that you're doing.
And when it comes to your creative process, could you please walk us through it, detailing how the chaos of creation ultimately culminates in the final works of art that we witness?
On my process and the way I work with chaos, from the start, I was looking for something that would bring chaos inside of my creative process. And today I start with a video most of the time, a video that I make, or videos that I see online and that fascinates me. When I'm fascinating by the movement, I'm looking for a way to grasp the movement and understand it clearly before breaking it completely. And so the idea is that as soon as I see something that fascinates me, I want to get inside of the code, try to understand the data, and from the data I look for a process that would be like a destructive process that would completely match the movement. And by matching, I mean when you have such a movement, such a complex thing that you love and you want to break, it takes a lot of time actually to find the right way to break things. And by that I mean I always think about this moment when you're a kid and you have a toy and you play with it so much that you break it, and you know you had a lot of fun like playing with it and pushing it to the maximum, and then while you break it, you feel like you're uh, happy and sad at the same time. You know, it's kind of expressing something that is inside of you, a destructive pulsion. But also you're sad because you broke it. It's not going to be the same ever again. And I think it's pretty much the same with like glitch art processes. Sometimes when you use a code, a script, and you didn't make any backups, then you ended up with a file that is completely corrupted, and you loved the first version way more, and in the process you kind of you corrupted the thing, so it's really hard to go back in time and get that file again. And so I'm always using this kind of um, collapsing processes when you want to retain everything, but it's already too late. This is a feeling that I love to have by my side when I create something. And so when you look at my work, I would say that you see something that is in its downfall. It's collapsing. It's in the middle of its downfall. Um, and I think there is beauty in that. There is beauty in letting things decay and show their weaknesses. And I would say that it's really this precise moment in the middle of the fall that I'm looking for. I want something that is not corrupted to the point there is nothing. There is just a white screen or blue screen. But it's in the middle. There is still something. You still get the feeling of what it was, but you don't grasp it entirely. And it creates a movement inside of the image. And I think when you think about a video, you see movements, and it's pretty clear that things are moving. But when you take my work with the RAD RAW series, it's also a lot of movements because it's in the middle of this collapsing, decaying thing.
I know that you've been actively part of the Glitch Artist Collective for years. I'd love to know in what ways the Glitch Artist Collective, provided inspiration to drive the continuous evolution of your artistic style.
I'm really happy that I found out really early in my glitch art experimentation about like the Glitch Artist Collective, because it's been a shortcut to a lot of amazing people and also a lot of tools, also ethical, about like being ethical about corrupting things, because of course like if you think about destruction and the way it can be disastrous, there is a lot of ethical ideology behind the Glitch Artist Collective, and people are pretty much open to share the tools, share the techniques, and even share ideas and try to create events like festivals and exhibition to make it more clear their vision about glitch art. And it's been a wild and dense environment for me just to meet the people, being able to express myself, try to find my own style, and this is still something that I'm really proud of, like to work for the Glitch Artist Collective, because pretty much everyone is working for free there. They just want to, they want the movements to be bigger and to be more accessible, and they want to put their skills inside of something that matters to them. I definitely feel that way. Like for example, teaching glitch art is something that I oftenly do. I love to share the work, share the ideas, and also sometimes code seems to be something really complex, but when you learn it with someone that knows about it, it can be really interesting. Like you learn a lot really quickly, and you understand how powerful it can be and how it's kind of defining the world we live in more and more. Um, so yeah, the Glitch Artist Collective is definitely one of my first inspiration when it comes to glitch, and I'm really proud to be able to work with these people today. We are actually working on an exhibition that should take place in late September, and so it's gonna be something huge. Talking about like glitch art history and the way people have been doing this for decades. The way that it's not only an aesthetic, but something that has theoretical concepts and ideas from decades as well.
From June 23rd to June 25th, you have your Valuart Solos exhibition here at the Valuart Gallery in Lugano-Paradiso. Can you share insights about your Valuart Solos exhibition and the inspiration that underlies it? What themes or concepts are you exploring within this collection of works?
So at each physical exhibition that I do, I always think about how I can make something that people are going to perceive differently. Being in a physical space, being able to see the works, see many works in the same place, in different formats, and being able also to see the details, because it's really like a huge opportunity for me to think about a scenography, to create my work the right way. And for this one, I wanted to kind of bring the public into my own experimentation, because one of the main idea that I have while doing like RAD and raw formats is to have an attention for details and look inside of a huge amount of data and pick a detail that I like. So you need to imagine me looking at a video that would be maybe like playing for hours and glitching for hours. And I'm looking for a specific detail that would bring, that would just, I don't know, bring my attention to some forms, colors, a movement. And so when I stop the video, it's not finished. I have a full image, sometimes in 4K, that I need to inspect, and I want to find like the perfect crop. So part of my abstract experimentation is just to look at something and look it with the right eyes, like try to find something that is appealing to me. And then I usually zoom in, and this is really important for this exhibition, because I wanted the public to be able to experience my like the abstract vision that I'm trying to develop through this idea of getting closer and closer to details and getting back and forth and see like sometimes the full picture, and then to be able to have an attention to little details, almost like minimalistic details. And this is really something that express a lot of movement when I work. So I wanted to bring that alive inside of the exhibition. And also I brought some older formats, whether they are RADs and RAWs, because I think since my work is always evolving and focusing on new colors, forms, you zoom in, zoom out, but there is still this line I think that I'm following, which make them all recognizable. And I think there is always this kind of interesting links between like older and newer work. So it's kind of a mix between those two. You will see things that are completely new. You will see things that are a bit older. But my reflection is always on the movement and this vision of abstraction.
And which specific pieces will be showcased in this exhibition?
I think like the main focus that I've seen between the works that I'm presenting for this exhibition are these specific colors that you will see among a few of them. Sometimes they are in triptychs, and you will see that there are correspondences, even though some of them are really structured, others are more organic. But I think there is also an attention to noisiness and vibrance of the work. And I think all these things are pretty painterly. I think I still have this in me, like the painting, drawing, or imprint things. It's still kind of expressing inside of all the glitch that I'm picking and that I'm creating myself. And so there will be like two formats: the raw, which are like pure glitch without any color changes, and the rats that are more processed work. And this comes from this idea that I'm extracting from a video the matter that matters to me actually. And so when I do this, I really copy this industrial way of thinking about resources. So I sometimes I start with like Google Earth videos, and I'm pretty much like extracting from Google Earth ground to get like the proper material, which is like a raw material first. And when I process it through more and more destructive processes, I'm like reducing the colors, reducing like the scale, and to the point I end up with something that is completely different. And a process rad format is something that I'm always like kind of picking the right colors, picking the perfect composition, and so these are two different materials that will be able to witness at the exhibition.
I'd love to know how these selected pieces exemplify your artistic vision and style, particularly within the context of glitch art.
I think like there are a lot of different video glitch artists, and I'm just gonna speak for myself here, but one thing that I really enjoy about being able to glitch a video is that whether it's your video or a video that you may have found on the internet, you can do your own version of it. And that's really important, I think. Like the fact that you can work with the news, for example, and try to grasp the actualities, something really important to me, because sometimes, you know, we live in a world of data, so we receive a lot of information through the day, and it's a really great sensation to be able to kind of stop the flux and grasp it and try to make something different with it. So sometimes it's a huge pleasure to be able to find a new version of something. Like you some video matches, and you know there's something interesting in it, and I start to glitch it. I start to look for a way to completely destroy it, and at some point there is something getting out of this that is really satisfying, and I really feel that it's the right way to deconstruct it. It brings me like this sensation that I made the good choice while using this process or another. So yeah, it's really like the way I've been like looking for my own style, I would say. Like for me, glitch is a way to translate things and to really look for a new impression of an image.
In another interview, you mentioned envisioning a future where glitch art has permeated every layer of the digital and physical world. How would you describe this world as you see it?
I think so. Glitch art is already something that you see from like the most underground layers of society to the top of society. When you think about even cultural events, you see glitch everywhere. But sometimes it can be just like on the surface. It's just something that is used as an aesthetic or something like that. And when I think about like all the things that are digital today, there is glitch inside of all the tools that we use. There is no glitch art yet, but there is a way to glitch and use every kind of tool as a creative tool while glitching it and using it the wrong way. But also I think maybe in a near future, there will be this question as well of what do we keep and what do we let go, you know, as digital data. because we're kind of stocking everything, but maybe at some point, like people are gonna be using the energy for something else, like than just to keep your emails that you've never deleted, or to keep images that you've put on the cloud and then no one touches it, and maybe decades after it's gonna at some point gets glitched out. And there is this example in Minecraft of like old servers where they started to get corrupted because they have kind of a lifetime. Sometimes it's a physical lifetime because the materials that are used to store the information are getting degraded or destroyed, and so you lose part of the code, you lose part of the information, and you end up with a map with half of the bricks, half of the information, and sometimes it works, and at some point it doesn't work. So in the middle, you will find, I think, glitch art, and maybe like emerging glitch art. Maybe it's not even gonna be human. It can be just like a physical, physical decay, as I said. And so I'm really curious about that. Like, is it gonna be something that we think about, or is it gonna be something that happens on its own?
How does it feel to know that your work has not only captivated the art world, but has also made a significant wave in the music industry, such as through your collaboration with Ariana Grande?
So I think like it's really motivating me to see that my work is being seen in festivals as audiovisual, like film, also in music festival, but in video clips as well, galleries. So I'm really thrilled about that because it makes me think that it can act as a bridge between like all these circles, all these bubble that you see in art. And I think it's pretty much a way that people can relay on something that is primarily part of our environment. Like everyone has its own version of what a glitch is, and everyone has to a certain degree experimented a glitch in his life, whether it's just by being late because of a glitch, or like watching a football game and seeing like a stream goes down and you see an image inside of another one. But yeah, even like watching streaming for films as well, sometimes you just have this weird compression that will bring artifacts in the middle. And I think it's an invasive form of expression of the digital world. And so I'm not surprised as well that it's something that speaks so much to a lot of us. And I'm really thrilled to see that I also have this opportunity with Valuart, because I try not to see the borders of the old art world. I want things to be more fluent, and I want people to be able to meet without any kind of hierarchy. So yeah, even though I had my success and I still have it today, I think I really want to be someone really accessible, open to new projects, and ready to experiment new things, new forms.
In what ways does your art challenge viewers to reconsider their long-held notions about error, imperfection, and their individual understanding of perfection?
So I talked about like the link I find between my formats and the industrial world, with like the raw matters and the way it's being processed. And I think there is kind of a cynical idea behind that, because I don't have an industrial process. It's full of error. It's really not efficient. I'm not looking for like a productive way of creating things, but I'm really also fascinated by the industry because it's pretty much like a religion in itself. We live in a world where we believe that it's normal to have everything in front of our door in like 24 hours. Like it's pretty crazy when you think about it. And all of this is about like timing, perfection, efficiency. And I think it's it can be an interesting thing to consider, that sometimes there is joy and pleasure in like imperfection. There is it's another understanding of the word. But sometimes if you stop thinking about like just being productive and doing the thing right, it can bring a lot of experimental stuff and a lot of doubts. But I love to think that it's kind of a meditation, a lifelong meditation that I'm trying to do, trying to understand the world we live in, because compared to these industrial forms and all the order that you will see in your life, I think like the universe we live in is far from being perfect. It's completely chaotic, and so I think it's a way to be sincere about the place we live on. And I think it's it's pretty difficult, because like living things like human beings, or we are really ordered, and we don't want, like, it's kind of a primary need of order. We don't feel at ease when it's getting chaotic, and I don't either. But I love to try to consider that it's the nature of things, to be chaotic to the point they break apart.
Thank you, Chepertom, for taking the time to have this interview with us in view of your Valuart Solos opening this Friday. For those who tuned in, remember to RSVP at the email indicated in our description below, and to subscribe for upcoming Valuart Solos exhibitions.